what happened.
What happened?
I was on Oprah's show, on the Oprah Winfrey Show, doing Change Your Life TV. And then people saw me, and other networks came after her and said, this is what I'd like to do. I said, because other people were coming to me and asking me this. I hadn't even thought about it. And but the way they heard that.
Oprah Winfrey and her former colleague, Iyanla Vanzant. Now, you might think you know everything about Oprah, but trust me, there's more to this story than meets the eye. So let's rewind a bit. Iyanla Vanzant, a powerhouse in her own right, found herself in the crosshairs of controversy when she dared to explore other career opportunities while working with Oprah. Yeah, you heard that right. Even though she was a key player in Oprah's success story, things took a turn when Iyanla received some enticing job offers from other networks. And let's just say Oprah wasn't too thrilled about it. Over the years, we have been reminded of the best side of the one African-American female who sits at the pinnacle of television. But more these days, we are beginning to find out most of those testimonies had been simply padded truths. There have been those who handiest labored as soon as along with her that have stated she's a monster. There have also been full-blown media scandals that uphold that monster description. This time, it's someone who worked carefully together with her for years and turned into painted as the villain. It is decades after now, and surprise, she turned into certainly railroaded by way of this very diabolical host. As one of the maximum of success humans inside the global, most of the people have followed Winfrey's story for the reason that her early days as a presenter and those who did not comply with it probably examine about it. If you're in either of those categories, you may know who Iyanla Vanzant is. And if you may have heard her call within the information, Iyanla is a part of Winfrey's starting place tale that could by no means be separated from the host. Inside the days earlier than her show rose to be something specific networks fought for, Iyanla become at her facet offering. You'd assume that for someone who played such an integral part in her story, Iyanla would at least get unique treatment whilst she has expert problems. However, this became a ways from the case. Much like there had been non-stop memories approximately how the celeb host is best a supporter of the fulfillment of fellow black ladies on paper. Iyanla changed into living proof of this. The female who changed into already a best-selling writer actually had to restart her life from scratch after Winfrey, who turned into already one of the most hit girls in the sport at the time, felt like Iyanla desired to scouse borrow her shine. Now, from the entirety we've visible through the years, it's now not a mystery that this host would not want to be stood up to. But in Iyanla's case, she made an example of what takes place whilst you stand against her. Iyanla's losses, engineered by using the host, ran deeper than just dropping her spot on one among the biggest shows. It ate deeply into her price range. As a person with enjoy website hosting and a respectable quantity of notoriety, she changed into not able to land a niche on any show and failed at her own. It's also really worth mentioning that everyone this stuff took place at a time when she had suffered dropping a few pricey lives around her. To this present day, there's now not even one piece of proof pointing to the reality that Winfrey had a hand in any of these. However, at the turn aspect, the best aspect that marked the beginning of her ordeal happens to have the name of this host at the middle. So inform me, is she honestly harmless of it? All one simple thing about Winfrey is that her show has been a launching board for several successful humans in showbiz nowadays. With names like Nate Berkus, a serial medical Dr. Filler, and Dr. Oz. The only component they have gotten not unusual is that they all have become global sensations off in their propulsion from Winfrey's show. The so-called Oprah impact has proved to be rather effective numerous instances over endorsements, common display appearances, or better. But a normal section at the Media Titans show may be the golden price tag to a hit profession, but at the same time as it made a few and almost made others, it turned into additionally the downfall of many. And Iyanla Vanzant occurs to be one of those human beings. The tale of Iyanla's existence reads like a mini collection. She turned into born in the lower back of a taxi cab in Brooklyn with the name Rhonda Harris. Her mom surpassed away of most cancers while she become handiest too. Her absentee dad changed into a numbers runner, and her grandmother beat her so severely that it flipped, laid the skin off her lower back. It simply receives worse. Later, Vanzant had become a teen mother and gave birth to a few more youngsters, each with extraordinary fathers. She married one of the fathers, but he attacked her too, and it brought about her nearly looking to stop her existence. Worst of all, These things befell before she grew to become 25. She was on welfare with simplest $5 in her pocket and her youngsters on her thoughts. While she noticed something that changed her life, I used to be sitting on the bus and the sign said, "If you're ready to better your life, come to Medgar Evers College," and that I got off the bus and went to Medgar Evers University. Vanzant said this became her stepping stone into the show enterprise. Iyanla's role as executive producer and host of the severely acclaimed award-winning unscripted series, Iyanla, Repair My Life, have become the #1 truth display on OWN Unfastened Community. There, Iyanla goes at the back of closed doors and deep inner humans' lives, wherein she applies religious ideas to assist people advantage inner peace and recovery by learning to do the paintings. Winfrey herself has referred to as Iyanla, the most effective non-secular healer, fixer, instructor on this planet. But this did not suggest they had been constantly on the same webpage, due to the fact now, not too long in the past, the pair had a war of words that lasted greater than a decade. That's right. You heard efficaciously over 10 years. One of the most excessive profile phases of Vanzant's existence was her falling out with Winfrey. She turned into a motivational speaker, gaining national prominence in 2000 while she commenced performing often on her show. But in 1999, Iyanla was approached with a proposal through a television government from some other network and chose to accept it. Winfrey and Iyanla didn't speak for 11 years after that. However, this is not the complete tale. The component is that proper after Iyanla was approached through executives willing to provide her a display of her own, she virtually spoke to her crew in Winfrey's enterprise. And after they grew to become her down, she left, and then pandemonium ensued. In the author's very own words, "We had a communication in the first verbal exchange. Do you need your own display now? Or are you inclined to wait?" And I stated, "I'm inclined to attend." Then once I were given approached with the aid of such a lot of human beings, Barbara Walters wasn't the handiest producer. I stated, "Wait a minute, keep up. Maybe there's something happening here I need to have a look at." So I returned to Harpo and stated, "Are you inclined to do my display now?" Years have exceeded, and the two hosts have had a communique simplest to recognize their rift might have been as a result of miscommunication. Talking approximately the situation, I simplest stated, "I recognize that I said I'd wait. However, allow me inform you why." And that's wherein I made my mistake due to the fact I went into this long rationalization about how each person had approached me. And I think I am ready now. Blah, now not knowing the nuance in the enterprise that they acquired, that as me trying to leverage a deal. They had been insulted and offered the invitation not to come back returned. Then after over a decade of no longer speaking, Iyanla become known as Up, by using Winfrey to return on her display so that they might air out their differences. Now that is tousled due to the fact the whole thing happened at the back of closed doorways. So would not it best be appropriate that it gets taken care of the identical manner? But no, the extra well-known one of them had other plans. She had Iyanla come on her show and manipulated the communique till Iyanla had to time and again admit she made the errors. Iyanla defined on the display that she found out many classes from her experience running with another network. It shook me to my core. She says I used to be additionally hurt and responsible about the way I left right here. Heard that I didn't recognize what I had completed and responsible because my story is, I always do the wrong factor. This lack of confidence led Iyanla to make assumptions that allegedly compounded the state of affairs. Whilst you said bless, you pass ahead. It really is no longer what I heard. Iyanla tells Winfrey, "What I heard was you did the incorrect factor and you are being punished." As discussions continue, it stays to be visible how this war of words will unfold. Proportion your thoughts on this matter and then check the next video for more insights.